everybody?
Good.
So I'm supposed to do 5 pets. Thank you for the kind introduction. Very nice of you. 5 pets in 3 weekends. And this is my busiest week of the year, the worst possible week to be on the road. The 2 pets next weekend are canceled. It is a very difficult time to be in the speaking business or the public person business. But it's my honor to be here with you today. I would just tell you it's been a rough week. I feel you. I know that everybody's had a tough time. And when I began my speech yesterday hey, Craig, do you have a wireless for me? When I began my speech yesterday where was I yesterday? Rochester, Minnesota. Thank you very much. When I began my speech yesterday, I was doing like a little short punch list of all of the things I was having to work through as the opening speaker. I get the leadoff slot a lot at conventions. For those of you that don't know, I speak for a living, and I don't charge Rotary for talks, and Rotary found out. And so now I get a lot of invitations to speak to Rotary, and that's fine. I never charge Rotary for talks because I don't feel it's fair to charge my own 501c3. And I like to give back. It is my church. I feel very strongly about the organization, and this happens to be a forehand for me, and I like to give back. But I made a short list of all the things that have been going on because the coronavirus is eating a lot of oxygen, but there's a lot of other stuff that happened this week. I know we have some financial planners in the room, and on Wednesday, we ended the longest bull run in the stock market, in the history of the stock market. And $15 trillion of stock market value was incinerated. Have a nice day. The U.S. began airstrikes again in the Middle East, this time against Iran this week. I don't know if you've heard, there's a virus.
Sure.
And yesterday was Friday the 13th, man. And so I'm getting all these meeting planners. Dave says, go up there and motivate them, Michael. Make them forget their problems, man. So that's my job today. I wanted to, because I'm a little cranky, and I was kidding in my session today. I did a session on social media. I was kidding, kind of, but I've been trying to think about ways I can get home all week. And by tonight or tomorrow morning, it's going to be like Kurt Russell in that movie Escape from New York. I'm just trying to get on a plane and get home, man. I'm feeling good, feeling pretty good. But, you just never know, and it'd be nice to get back to the homeland. I live in Detroit, Michigan, everybody. So because I'm a little bit cranky, I'm going to do a program I don't often do for Rotary, and you'll enjoy it. It's got a lot of humor in it, but the title may throw you a bit. It's called 13 Ways to Ruin Your Rotary Club. And you're going to need a pen, because there's 13 of them, and I'll bet you're doing 6 of them right now. And I'm going to be speaking quickly enough to get through the 13 and providing some humor, as I said. So if you miss something, you can find the YouTube video. And you can also see I've posted it if you want to share the written version. So you can find on my YouTube channel, which is Michael Angelo Caruso. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, it's free. And then, or just search 13 ways to ruin your Rotary Club on YouTube. And then in my group, which is Get the Word Out Now, you can search in the videos or in the files. If you want the written version, go to the files. You have to join the group. You can do it right now in your chair. It's on Facebook. Also, for those of you that do any speaking for Rotary or anything, if you want to improve your presentations, I have a group called Present Like a Pro, also free. There you go. So 13 ways that you can ruin your Rotary Club. Number 1, and I give this right before lunch, is to neglect the food. There is a thing right now, it's almost like a meme. Mark's been in Rotary a long time, and there's a meme I've never seen, and I can't believe I'm seeing it. And I don't know that I'm right about this, but my sense is that it's not the right thing to do. That if we just eliminate food from our meetings, Rotary will be strong again. Or if we eliminate the meetings altogether, Rotary will be strong again. And I'm just beside myself because I can't think about how that we can shrink our way to greatness. And that seems to be what we're trying to do. Let's lower the dues as much as we can. Hell, let's let people in for free. Let's not have meetings anymore. Let's not serve food anymore. Let's only meet once a month. Where's the strategy there? I just can't understand that. And people say, well, you know, we want these yo pros or young professionals in the club, right? And young people don't have any money. Are you kidding me? Did you hear me say we just finished the longest bull market in the history of modern civilization?
They have money for Starbucks every day.
They have money for $15 vodka and tonics all weekend, baby. Of course they have money. They don't have money for a poor value proposition. And you're winnowing it down when you say no food. Now, if you're serving crappy food, that's another problem. Because that's something we do too in Rotary. We'll serve soup and salad, or mustacholi, or something that people don't want to eat. The lowest ticket that we can get. And you got to take care of yourselves. Self-care is not selfish, right? And so when you have a good value proposition, people will come. So don't worry about that. Number 2, let's forget about attracting businesses. Let's not worry about attracting businesses. If you wiki Rotary, you'll see that we're defined as a professional service organization. Now, professional to me means that we are all in the working world. We have professional standards. We're still employed, gainfully employed. It can also mean professional in terms of etiquette, professional standards. But I'm hearing it that we're working still. If we don't turn this thing around with the demographics, we're going to be a retired service organization, not a professional one. And so before we have to rewrite the wiki definition, let's focus on getting businesses involved in the clubs. Now here's the problem. When Rotary was started 115 years ago, we were a very exclusive organization. You know this. You had to be captain of industry. Everybody knows that white guys joined organizations like this back in the day, not women certainly. But the pendulum has swung the other way, and now I'm hearing, again, the memes, the trend, is that we must be completely inclusive, that we must include everyone in our organization. And if they can't afford the dues, we should consider reducing our dues so that everyone can get in the club. I'm seeing this on Facebook all the time. And again, it makes no sense to me. By definition, to belong to a club, you have to be like the other people to join the club. And if the other people are paying dues, you should pay dues. If you don't have the money to pay the dues, it's okay. You're probably not a good fit for Rotary. Now, if you disagree with me, it's okay. I actually like it when people would disagree with me because then we have some discourse. But this is how I feel right now about it. So I think we have this problem now where we're never going to get those wealthy guys, or wealthy women to join Rotary anymore because we don't offer that to them. We don't offer that kind of exclusivity anymore. I can tell you, and I'm very proud of my club in Troy, Michigan, very proud of them. But we, like most Rotary clubs, we have a kind of a folksy, retired profile in the club. There are people that argue with me about this too. I used the F word the other day, folksy. And one of the guys in the club called me that night, and he was furious with me. He said, "We are not a folksy club." He wanted to go to war. And I'm not sure where he gets this idea that we're not a folksy club because the numbers don't bear that out. Over 50% of the club is retired. We do everything in slow motion. It takes us 6 minutes to do a 50-50 drawing. Are we recording this? That's great. I love my club. But we have to have the courage to look in the mirror. I call it the naked look in the mirror. You ever do that?
Too much information.
Hands up. Hands up if you ever take off your clothes and look in the mirror. That's what I thought you'd say. Here's what happens when you do that. You look in the mirror and you start focusing on all the things you don't like. Right? Oh, I didn't see that before. Or what's that hanging there? And of course, we're all beautiful people, right? Yeah, we are. But we focus on what's not, but here's the thing, with a naked look in the mirror, you are you. You've got to see what's really there. Louisa was talking about this on the other side a minute ago. You've got to see what's really there. Otherwise, it's a funhouse mirror. And that's how you know what your value proposition is. You're able to look at your club and call it for what it is and be good with it. Own it. And if you're a folksy club, it's fine. Own it. And if you're a folksy club and you don't want to be a folksy club, fix it. We're going to talk about how to do that right now. So you can't ignore the businesses, but you're going to have to be more professional if you're going to attract the professional grade. We have a professional company, a very large company, in our club right now, and I'm scared to death we're going to lose them. Because they're going to look up one day and say, why are we the only ones here of this stripe? It's going to be impossible. You're looking at me like, no, not you, sir. Are you okay? You understand what I'm saying? They're going to leave us if they don't have company. So we have to fix that. Number 3, don't engage youth. Well, we call them young professionals or yo pros, this idea that you could get 30-somethings and 40-somethings to hang out with 60 and 70-year-olds is a myth. And we talk about it all the time. We've got to get more 30-somethings in the club. I think you're delusional. 30-somethings do not want to hang around with 70-year-old people. And I say that as somebody.
I do.
You do? Good for you. You are an anomaly. You got a unicorn here in Whitney.
There's a bunch of us that do.
There are some, but you'd like it more if you had some company. And you'd like it more if we were more diverse. And we'd like it more if we had more 30-somethings. But we're never going to get more of you unless we get strategic about it. So here's the tip. Instead of asking one 30-something to join your club, try to get 2 or 3 of them at a time. If you can get, is it 6 for a satellite or 8?
8.
If you can get 8 30-somethings, you've got a satellite club. And then the satellite club operates under the umbrella club. And they can run their own show. And that's what they really want to do. Whitney's kind. And she's a good person. But she does not want to wait 20 years to be president. Are you going to be president next year?
Year after.
Well, you don't have to wait then. But they want to run their own show. They're in a different gear than us. And that gives you the option then. And by the way, if Whitney says, I'd rather not be in the satellite club. I'd rather be at the adult table. That's fine. Good. Now she's got a choice. But when you bring people in, bring them in clusters, and they're more likely to stay with you. Number 4, technique for not ruining your Rotary Club. Remain convinced that you don't need to sell Rotary. There are still people that think we don't have to persuade people to join. If we're trying to convince people to join, we're working too hard. Now, I agree with this to a certain point, but I think there's a real persuasion process that goes into getting people to join. And here's how I know this. They have options. They have alternatives. There's Toastmasters, there's Optimists, there's Kiwanis, there's Chamber of Commerce. Hell, there's an app called Meetup. You just go on that and go volunteer someplace. And you only have to do that once. Rotary is a commitment. So I think we need to be very persuasive and very crafty to get people to join the club. And I talk about that endlessly in the Get the Word Out page. How to market the greatest service organization in the world so that it's appealing. I heard the term irresistible today from Louisa. Okay. Number 5. Let other service clubs in your area do the heavy lifting. I hear this all the time. That, I don't know what's going on with Rotary in our town. We only have 10 members, but the Kiwanians have 100 members in their club. Raise your hand if another service club is running the table in your town. It's okay. Might be true, yeah. So here's what you do. You hitch your wagon to people with bigger wagons, to clubs with bigger wagons. Try to do, instead of staying away from them and not learning about them, visit with them once in a while and borrow their strategies. Offer to co-sponsor Kiwanis events. Oh, they'll have trouble with it. They'll have trouble understanding they think you're up to something. And in a way you are. You want to learn more about how they're doing it. And they will teach you how you can get critical mass for your club. And that's how you'll learn. If you remain an island, it will never happen. Number 6, don't worry about first impressions. It's critical, man. We teach people now, we teach young people in church, we teach people in church, we teach young people in schools not to judge. Have you heard this phrase? I don't judge. No judgment. Have you heard that? What a bunch of crap. I don't know about you, but I use judgment every single day. Good judgment. What I don't use is prejudgment. I try not to prejudice myself against other people, against other situations. But when people walk through that door into your Rotary meeting, they're making decisions about whether or not they like you, whether or not this is their thing, whether or not you're doing weird stuff. Weird, whatever weird is. Who gets to define weird, you or them?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
We go, no, that's not weird, that's tradition. They go, no, it's weird. You go, how can it be weird? We've always done it. Yes,
It's like
sir.
ending every meeting by standing up and monotoning the four-way test.
That's an
I had
example.
high school students look around going, what the hell is going on?
It's not just the four-way test. We meet in a building with 1,000 people in the building. It's a giant building. We haven't gotten one person from the building to join our club. Not one. They visit it. There's a law firm on the top floor that comes down. I wanted to sit with the female attorney because I wanted to see if I could, get her to join the club. So she's checking us out, right? She's making judgments. I could see it on her face. She was judging. She's a terrible poker player because every time she saw something she didn't like, she wrinkled her nose like this. Here's what happened. The president rings the bell. She wrinkled her nose. The president said, "Could everybody please stand up?" She wrinkled her nose again. She says, "We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance." Oh, a big wrinkle there. We start to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and the attorney, can't remember the words. Do you think that made her happy or uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Uncomfortable. During the Pledge of Allegiance, she looked at her phone because she gets bills out at 6-minute increments, and we're wasting her time. The purists and the standard bearers in Rotary said, hell with her. If she doesn't understand the Pledge of Allegiance and it's not important to her, we don't want her in the club. But I want her in the club. I don't care if she's fond of the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't care how often she says it. I want attorneys in our club. Now we may differ on this, but it's my speech. Number 7, don't work with other organizations. I've already talked about the benefits of hitching your wagon to clubs with bigger wagons. What about the local Chamber of Commerce?
Yep.
They make it their function to do pre-vetted events that attract people, happy hours, all kinds of things. Why aren't you attending their events? Why aren't you tight with the chamber? Maybe you are. Our club has a service club discount, a community discount or something with the chamber. We show up all the time. We sometimes show up in mass. They can't figure out why all of us, they think it's like a rave or something. We just all show up at the same time, but it's because we want to be a voice in the chamber. And it's a public event. We bought tickets just like everybody else. They can't keep us out. 10 Rotarians walking around a chamber meeting, it's almost a Rotary meeting. Number 8, thank you. Live in the past. Live in the past. We've talked about tradition. My friend, a Rotarian in Southgate, Michigan, Steve Hollis, he calls this tradition unimpeded by progress. Isn't that great? That we would just do stuff because we've always done it and without regard for whether or not people coming up think it's okay or reasonable or timely or relevant, right? 115 years ago, Rotary was founded in the 3 Ps. Policy, protocol, and procedure. And in our casual society, all 3 things have gone by the wayside. Don't you see it? Language is casual now. Dress code is casual now. All the formality is like slipping away from us. And I miss some of it, but I can't stop it. I got to get with the program. And so does Rotary. To the extent we cling to the policy, podium, there's another P. 4 Ps. To the extent that we cling to the stuff that we've always done, we do it at the risk of alienating future members. I just think it's going to be, and I don't think we should abandon everything, so we have to be strategic. Number 9, shut out the YoPros, people of color, women, right? So the opposite of that, of course, if you want to attract these demographics, what's the best, how many of you have speakers at your club still? That was another thing we're eliminating. I don't understand. If you just get good speakers, people will come. So if you have speakers at your club and you want to attract female members, what type of speaker should you get? Female. If you want to attract 30 and 40 somethings, what kind of speakers should you get? Why don't you get speakers that actually promote themselves? We get speakers that nobody in the club has ever heard before, including the program chair. Because the program chair was just trying to fill the calendar. Have you ever been in a meeting and the speaker starts and everybody in the room starts looking for the program chair? Where is she? Because she did it to us again. And the speaker has more real estate in the club meeting than anybody, including the club president. We're giving the microphone to somebody we've never heard speak, and then we wonder how the meeting didn't turn out to be extraordinary. This is not hard. So in our club, we only book speakers who have a 2-minute video on YouTube, because it tells us a lot. It tells us that they promote themselves. It tells us what their style is. It tells us that they think of themselves enough to have a marketing stripe. And then we say, we'd like you to come speak to the club, and we ask all of the speakers to promote to their audience. Our speakers promote our club. And then we say, we're going to drive traffic to your website too. Is that okay with you? What do you think they say to a person? I mean, who does this? So it's great. Number 10, the 10th technique for ruining your Rotary Club is to reject new stuff, not try new things. Now, I think of it like a golf swing. I don't know how many golfers we have in the room, but you know, there's a lot of things you need to do in a golf swing. You need to stand up straight. You need to keep your eye on the ball. You need to keep your left arm straight. You need to, of course, hit the sweet spot of the club. You need to have your spikes up when you turn, right? All these things. And if you try to change too many of those things at the same time, you're going to ruin your game. I think it's the same thing's true about your club. Just change a couple things for 90 days. You're all presidents-elect. Tell your club, you're just going to try this for 90 days. We're going to measure it. If it doesn't work, we're going to go back to our old self. All in favor say aye. That's how you do it. So don't make it a thing. Don't make it like permanent, because people will be afraid. Presidents-elect. You not only have the option to change your club, you have the obligation to change your club. That's why we want you to be president. You with me? If you ever thought you could change your club, your year as president is the time to do it. Because in another year, you're going to be what's called a past president. You're going to wake up on July 1st and say, where are all my people? And they've moved on. They're like, you timed out. You timed out without making any changes. We escaped another innovator, ladies and gentlemen. Bring on the next one. The 11th tip is to ignore outsiders, because visitors have an opinion about what your club is like. And in any given town, and I'm not embarrassed about any of these statistics. I'm focused on the future. 10% in the rearview mirror, 90% in the windshield, right? I am not shaming Rotary. We are the best service organization on the planet, yes or no?
Yes.
You bet. Thank you. Please sit down, everyone. But the only way we're going to grow is to get clarity on exactly what's happening, and then make some good decisions at the fork in the road. And there's always a fork in the road. So the visitors come and the visitors go. And we have no idea why most of the time. In most towns, you have far more people who have visited Rotary than are in Rotary. What's up with that? In most districts, only 10% of the membership attends the most important event of the year. If you have 2,000 members of the district, only about 200 people come to the district conference. That is not a harbinger of good things to come. We've got to increase the value proposition of the district conference and get more people excited about Rotary. By the way, I've been a 25, 26-year man now in Rotary, and I love my club, but my best club experience, my best Rotary experiences have happened outside my club. What's it going to take to get people to do club visits? I heard somebody mention it earlier. Or attend a district conference early on. Presidents, when you install people, tell them, we want you to do a couple things for us as you join. Be upfront with them. We want you to be every Rotarian every year and donate $100 to the foundation. Do it this year. Get in the habit. and we want you to go to the next district conference. You'll have a blast. I'll introduce you to some cool people. Get them to go to the first one, because if they're in Rotary for 3 or 4 years without going to the discon, they say, well, we don't have to go. I don't have to go. I haven't gone the first 3 years, why do I need to go now? It's so much harder to get them to attend. And of course, none of us will be going to Hawaii. No, it's not official. No, it's not official. Kidding. Kind of. No one knows what's going to happen. But the international convention, oh my gosh, you're hooked when you go to that. You've never seen anything like this in your life. Wow. Okay. How many of you have been to the international? Yeah, huge. Hawaii this year. Is it Taipei the year after?
Yes.
Then where?
Houston.
Plan it, man. If you can't afford Taipei, we got some younger people here. Have you been to Taipei? Have you been to Texas? Well, you gotta get out of the house more. Houston. So maybe Taipei is not going to be your thing. Maybe Hawaii is not going to happen because of the virus. You plan on Houston 3 years from now. Budget for it. Houston's affordable, man. Okay. Number 12 technique for for ruining your Rotary Club is to grow complacent. Right? Give up on all this stuff. It's too hard. And I know presidents. They come to pets, and I ask them, "What do you want? What's your big goal for next year?" And they go, "Well, I just hope the wheels don't fall off the wagon, or I hope to be a little bit better than last year's average president." I'm like, "Come on, man! You can do better than that. That's your biggest goal. You can do it. You have the ability to turn this ship around. You have the ability to set the course. You have the ability to improve on good stuff that's already happening." And we're giving you the tools to do it here. We're giving you phone numbers you can call if you want to do it. I'm giving you websites that are going to drip you with strategies. As long as you care to be a part of the group, do it. And the number 13 strategy for ruining your Rotary Club is to not own it. This is a special message for the presidents-elect, because when I joined Rotary, after being in Rotary for 16 years, I came to understand that I, in fact, owned this organization. In the year as president, I became a stakeholder. I carried the keys for a year. And I started to think about my club in ways that I never thought about it before. Because when you own something, you take care of it. I travel a bit, right? I never take my rental car to the car wash. I never change the oil. But I take care of my own vehicle. I vacuum it. I keep it clean. When you own it, you take care of it. And that's the feeling you get when you're president. I'm going to leave with one little anecdote. We'll get you to lunch. When you become president of your club, you're going to see a lot of things about the club you didn't see before and you're going to like. I didn't know that was happening. Oh, I didn't know you did this. Tell me more about this. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that. That's all good, right? But when you become president of your club, you're also going to learn about some things that you didn't know and don't like. And you're going to just raise your eyebrows and say, really? And you're going to get under the hood over here and go, oh my gosh. You ever try to do something, but before you can do that, you got to do 2 other things? Welcome to the presidency. So these 2 old Rotarians go golfing, 2 guys. And they're getting ready to tee off, and guys are funny, especially as they age. We spend a lot of time talking about our body parts and how things aren't working like they used to. And these guys are no different. They get ready to tee off, and the first guy's getting ready to hit, and he says, I still drive a pretty good ball, he said, but I can't see it like I used to. Could you help me track it? And the second guy says, my eyesight is perfect. I got your back. I got you covered. The guy says, fantastic. And he gets ready to hit, and he hits it pretty good for an 80-year-old. And he hits it way down. He says, I told you I lost it. I didn't see it. He said, did you see it? I go, absolutely, I saw it. They're getting ready to get into the cart, and the first guy says to the second guy, well, where did it go? And the second guy says, I forget. Welcome to Rotary. You're going to be a fantastic president. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, Randy. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you.
So Michael, you don't know I'm doing this, but
I don't have this opportunity very often. But you're not wearing a pin. But if you were wearing a pin, Michael, what's that pin?
Well, first of all, I had a pin when I left home, and I don't know where it is, and I like wearing a pin. But you're trying to get the rate to the video that's on YouTube. Some time ago, I was doing a little riff. I think it might have been on Mackinac Island. You can actually find the video on YouTube. It's "What is Rotary?" I think is the title of it. And so I was single for a long time, and people would ask me, women would ask me, "What's the pin for?" And I would have fun with it. And then eventually I got to settle into something I can use all the time. And I started to answer with this. I started to answer with, "This is the best thing I've ever done." And what I like about that as an elevator speech is it reels people in, you know. If I say it's the best thing I've ever done, what are you going to say? What is it? Why? You know, you don't want to know more. And that's persuasion in motion. If I say it's Rotary, what do you say?
That's nice.
You say, well, it's Rotary, but you don't really care, you know. You're already backstroking because it seems like something that's not going to be that interesting. But I say, it's the best thing I've ever done. And you've got another line that you use now because you're a family man. What's that pin?
My Rotary pin.
Yeah, and what it's you said in
It's
the
the
car.
best thing I've ever done, excluding the marriage of marrying my wife and having 2 children.
That's right. So it's the second best thing he's ever
Second best thing
done.
I've
Yeah.
ever done.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Pleasure. My pleasure. So I was thinking that whenever, I didn't know what it was, I saw Melissa get one or somebody got one, and I thought, that is never going to fit in my suitcase. And then I realized it is a suitcase. Thank you very much, everybody.
So we need everybody can stretch because they have to finish setting up for lunch.
Okay, I think you heard everybody out. Thank you.
How can we get access to your video?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to N, he'll post it.
We're trying to figure out like maybe shoot this on YouTube, and then I'm gonna add it as a link right on our page.
Great. Okay.
So it may take a little bit. Actually, I should announce it. Maybe I'll announce it in the next section. I already put Lisa gave me her slides, and they're on there now.
Great.
That's Salvation Army.
Well done.
How'd you get involved?